What's up, Eagles fans? Welcome into the All-22 review driven by AAA. I'm your host, Fran Duffy. Eagles win 34-17. They win the NFCs. They're going back to the playoffs 3 straight years. They've won the division now 2 of the last 3. Just an outstanding team win from this Eagles team up at MetLife Stadium in North Jersey. We've got a lot to break down here, and we're going to start second drive of the game. Dallas Goddard comes up with a big catch down the seam against zone coverage. You're going to get that here as he's going to catch this ball right down the seam. And the reason why he is open on this play against the Giants zone coverage is that they are playing Tampa 2. So you're going to have 2 high safeties. This guy right here is going to drop into 1 high safety. There's another safety in the middle of the field that's going to rotate over. Those guys are going to split the middle of the field. That means that you're going to have a lot of open space here. The only guy that can really make a play on this throw is the middle linebacker, David Mayo, because he is dropping down the seam. Now, if he opens his hips to look at this sideline where the Eagles have 2 wide receivers, they're really going to be able to hum this right past his ear hole, and it should be a first down. If he opens up to the 3 receiver side, which they typically tend to do, then this throw may not be on the table for Carson Wentz. So all Carson Wentz really has to do, confirm that you've got cover 2 with those 2 safeties in the middle of the field, and then check the linebacker here. Make sure that he opens up his hips the other way. We'll let this run. Let's keep an eye on that middle linebacker, David Mayo. He's going to drop down the seam, and what do you see? He's looking to this side. So Dallas Goddard's going to run right past this underneath defender, right into the void in this cover 2 scheme, and we're going to let this run. You're going to see Carson Wentz is going to hum this ball in there. Great first down play, gets the Eagles into the red zone, and they capitalize with a field goal to go up 3-0. Big play there to Dallas Goddard. All right, ensuing drive, the Eagles get a big stop on third down, a sack from Brandon Graham. This was great scheming from the Eagles' defensive front. You're going to see here that they line up with 5 guys right up on the line of scrimmage. The big ones that you need to know, you've got Vinny Curry right here, lined up outside at defensive end. Derek Barnett lined up just inside. He looks like he's right over the center as a defensive tackle. There's Nigel Bradham lined up on the other side of the center. Then you've got Brandon Graham, and then it looks like Fletcher Cox lined up at the other defensive end spot. So little bit of disguise here from the Eagles defensive front. Who is coming, who is not, which angles are they all coming from? We're going to let this run, and you're going to see the Eagles are running a nice little stunt here, a 3-man stunt where you had Barnett and Curry both sliding inside from left to right. If you're Daniel Jones, looping around is Brandon Graham. The left tackle, Nate Solder, does not see it coming. Brandon Graham's going to loop around right off the butt of Vinny Curry, and he's going to get home for the sack. We can let this run. Eagles playing zone coverage on the back end. Daniel Jones, the rookie, a little bit confused, not sure what he's seeing, not confident to be able to throw the football, and Brandon Graham gets home for a huge sack on 3rd and long. All right, let's go to the next drive on defense now. This is a tight game, really close here in the first half. And the Eagles defense did a nice job of keeping the Giants out of the end zone. Big play here from Avonte Maddox. Remember, Jalen Mills out for this game. So Avonte Maddox, the starting left corner, and he's matched up here against Sterling Shepard one-on-one. This is the replay, and it's just going to be a vertical route from Shepard. And this is just teach tape technique here from Avonte Maddox. This is exactly how you coach it up. Let's let this run as he's going to do what's called look and lean down the field. He's in press man coverage. He's got his eyes on the receiver. Once he feels he's in phase, which is right here, he is hip to hip. He's got the ability to take that outside arm and put it right on the hip of the receiver if he wants to, but look at where his eyes are. He's looking back to find the football. Once you're hip to hip with the receiver, now you can turn. You're in position to find the football. If Shepard was 2 to 3 steps beyond, he now has to make sure he gets back in phase, and if the ball is coming, that's where you shoot your hands through the catch point and try and get the ball on the ground. We saw Rasul Douglas make a play on this earlier in the game. Very similar play. Douglas was out of phase, shot his hands through the catch point, got a pass breakup. Here, Avonte Maddox plays this perfectly. Let's let this run. He looks back to find the football. He's perfectly in phase, challenges the receiver at the catch point, and gets the ball on the ground for a pass breakup. Just outstanding technique there from the second-year player, Avonte Maddox. His first start on the outside here this season. All right, let's now fast forward to the Eagles' touchdown drive in the second quarter. Late in the quarter here, late in the first half, and the Eagles get a big play from Boston Scott in the screen game. Really well-designed screen pass from Doug Peterson and the Eagles' offensive coaching staff. Let's take a look here. It's going to start with Greg Ward, who's going to come in what's called orbit motion, where he's going to come behind the quarterback, from right to left. And Carson Wentz, after the play-action fake, we can let this run. He's going to fake the run to Boston Scott, so it's going to look like it's going to be an inside zone run to the right. Fakes that, then fakes as if he's going to throw the bubble screen. And remember, back in Week 14, the Eagles actually hit a couple of these bubble screens to the Giants and beat them in the flat for big plays. Boston Scott had a couple of them. In this game, they faked the bubble, and now you're going to get a couple offensive linemen. Isaac Seumalo is going to get up to the second level. Jason Kelce's going to release. He's going to get out as the lead blocker for Boston Scott, who's just going to go a little 3 count here after the run fake turn, and he's going to catch this pass from Carson Wentz. Let's let this run, and you can see Carson just lays this out perfectly. He's got a defender in his face. Great catch with one hand from Boston Scott. Plays off the block from Seumalo. Is able to play off the block down the field from Jason Kelce. You saw the burst there as well from the second-year running back. Huge play to get the Eagles going here into Giants territory and help set up a touchdown. Now let's take a look at that touchdown in the second quarter from Carson Wentz to Josh Perkins. Really well-designed play to attack the New York Giants in their zone coverage. They're playing, it looks like, cover 3 here on this play in the high red zone. You're going to get the Eagles heavy personnel here because you've got an extra offensive lineman there. Andre Dillard, the rookie first-round pick, is lined up. And this is just going to be a simple shot play. You're going to have a 2-man route off max protection. Greg Ward is going to run deep down the field on a deep crosser, and you're going to have Josh Perkins working on a deep crosser. Carson Wentz, after this play fake to Boston Scott, he's going to roll to his right. This is going to be his landmark right here, and you're going to see he's got a nice wall of protection to be able to survey the field. So let's let this play out and see how the Eagles do this, because again, heavy run look to start. You're going to get the play fake to Boston Scott. The Giants are now retreating into zone coverage, and you've got a nice wall of protection here. So Carson Wentz has plenty of time to be able to survey the field and find out where he wants to throw this football. We can let this run, and you're going to see he's going to throw this across his body to Josh Perkins in the backside of the end zone against this cover 3 scheme. And now we're going to go to the replay and be able to see exactly how Josh Perkins was able to get open, because this really came as a result from a very good route from Perkins and the Giants just not being overly aware on the backside of this play. Again, you've got Perkins. He's going to initially work vertically up the field, pretend as if he's going to run to the corner just to throw that defender off, and then he's going to break back the other way. So really good route here from Perkins. He can let this run. Again, selling that vertical stem, then he's going to work hard to the outside, get that corner to flip his hips, work across the face of the free safety. That corner, DeAndre Baker, not prepared there because he had just passed off Greg Ward before the snap. He was lined up one-on-one with Greg Ward. He passes him off, is not in position to be able to defend Perkins, and number 81 comes down with the catch. Great throw from Carson Wentz. Eagles get into the end zone, take a 10-3 lead going into halftime. As we move now to the third quarter, one of the things that we talked about this week on Eagles game plan was how the Eagles needed to find ways to defeat man coverage, especially on third down. And here on this critical play, 3rd and 8, that's exactly what they're going to get from this Giants defense. You're going to see straight man-to-man coverage across the board from the New York Giants. So you're going to have a 5-man pressure. They're going to be blitzing Carson Wentz with 5 defenders. You've got a single high safety in the middle of the field. How are the Eagles going to be able to beat man? We talked on the show that there are a couple different ways you can do it. You can have stacks where you've got multiple receivers lined up behind each other. You can have little rub routes where you've got guys kind of crisscrossing, creating traffic in the middle of the field where defenders get picked off. Or you just need your guys to be able to win one-on-one. That's exactly what happens here on this play. You've got Dallas Goddard lined up on a safety, and he's going to win on a corner route to the outside. You're going to have Greg Ward running deep down the field. He's going to lift coverage. Josh Perkins is going to run a quick slant route underneath, probably to be some kind of a check down option for Carson Wentz in case that pressure does get home. But what he really wants here on 3rd and long is Dallas Goddard, who just finds a way to go and win. Let's let this play run, and you're going to see here how Dallas Goddard comes up really with one of the biggest plays of the day. It's late third quarter. They need a big play here on 3rd and long, and Dallas Goddard comes up with a great route at the top to be able to try and create some separation. Carson Wentz puts this out here. Just great concentration and body control by Dallas Goddard along the sideline. He gets both feet in bounds, secures the catch. Eagles now deep into New York Giants territory. All right, so a couple of plays later, after a long Boston Scott run, the Eagles are now in the low red zone. It's 1st and goal, and Boston Scott is going to reach the end zone here on this touchdown run inside the 10-yard line, and it comes off an RPO from the Eagles offense. What you're going to get here is a run-pass option for Carson Wentz. He's got the ability, if he wants to hit Josh Perkins on this outbreaking route, sure, he's got the ability to do that. If not, he's going to hand this ball off to Boston Scott. And one of the things I want you to see, we don't have a great angle of this from the TV copy, but you're going to see what's called offensive linemen climbing vertical voids, because you've got Isaac Seumalo and Matt Pryor, the rookie, because again, Brandon Brooks out of the game at this point. They are both uncovered on this zone scheme. So you can see nobody is directly in front of Isaac Seumalo, and conversely, on the other side, no one is directly in front of Matt Pryor. So both guards are uncovered. I want you to watch the job that both of these guys do of just climbing immediately up to the second level to handle these linebackers. That leaves Jason Peters, Jason Kelsey, and Big V all one-on-one with those 3 down linemen. So everybody up front has a job to do. We can let this run, and you can see as Carson Wentz gets ready to hand this ball off, you got to give credit to Dallas Goddard backside as well. Isaac Seumalo, he's one-on-one with a linebacker. He gets his man on the ground. Matt Pryor, he's about to do the same thing. He gets his man on his back. You've got great blocks right up front here from Peters, Kelsey, and Vaitai. That means that Boston Scott is going to be one-on-one with a safety. Every run scheme in the book is going to say, you know what? If we got our running back one-on-one with a defensive back, we've done our job. And that's exactly what this scheme does. Great execution here. We can let it run. Boston Scott's going to play off the block from Vaitai, lower his shoulder through contact, and power into the end zone. Eagles take a 17-10 lead. Just an outstanding day here for Boston Scott. 3 touchdowns on the afternoon helped the Eagles in this victory. All right, Eagles up now 20-17, early 4th quarter, and we get now one of the biggest plays of the game. Honestly, what really swung the tide in the Eagles' favor and made this a blowout victory was this play, this turnover from the Eagles' defense. This is a pressure look here on 2nd and 8 from the Eagles' front. You can see you've got 8 potential rushers right up on the line of scrimmage. New York, they've got to prepare for this. They don't know who's coming and who's not. The big thing I want you to see is you've got Malcolm Jenkins right here. He's in the A gap. You've got Nate Gary, who's lined up off the edge. You've got Nigel Bradham right here. He's lined up in an A gap. And you've got Anthony Rush lined up, head up over the center. So the center, he's got to be thinking there's a million things going on. Who's coming? I got to set protection. I don't know who's coming from where. So this snap is going to come out a little bit hot and a little bit low, and that causes Daniel Jones to fumble the snap a little bit. Now, he picks this ball up, and we're going to see exactly what happens. But I want to talk about why Malcolm Jenkins gets clean here, because Will Hernandez, the team's 2nd-round pick a year ago, he lets him in scot-free. He looks like they're all trying to slide this way. The threat of Nate Gary here off the edge probably wants them sliding that protection that way. Malcolm Jenkins, he's just going to slide right inside. The center is not prepared to pick him up because he's got Anthony Rush about 6 inches away from his face mask, so he does not pick him up. We can let this run. Malcolm Jenkins slides inside the guard. Once the ball's picked up, he does an outstanding job of going for the strip here, knowing, you know what, Daniel Jones, he's got a history of fumbling. He's put the ball on the ground a number of times this year already. Let's go for the strip. Let's go for the big play. He gets the ball on the ground. We can let this run. Fletcher Cox obviously picks this one up inside the 1-yard line, a couple inches away from taking this to the house for a defensive touchdown, but a huge play for this Eagles defense. It started with the pressure look up front. Really just an awesome job from this entire defense, because you saw guys from all 3 levels of the field all involved on that pressure, and ultimately the biggest play of the game. All right, so now you go to the next defensive possession. The Eagles have just scored another touchdown after the Fletcher Cox fumble recovery, so they're now up 10 points. The Giants need some kind of a spark. They need some kind of a momentum to get everything going back in their favor. It's 4th and 2. They need this conversion. This is one of the biggest plays of the game for this Giants offense. So they're going to put the ball into their best player's hands, and that's Saquon Barkley here on 4th and 2. They're hoping for a little perimeter run out to the right side, but in order to get him out into space, they're hoping for a little bit of misdirection, something to take the attention of that Eagles front 7, keep them from getting to Saquon Barkley in the backfield. That backfield action, we're going to let this run here for just a second, and you're going to get you just to the mesh point, because I want you to see what they're trying to show this Eagles defense. They're taking the tight end, Caden Smith. They're saying, you know what, we're going to run him across the formation, try and sell that this is going to be some kind of a pass to the flat, and then also you've got the mesh point here. That gives them the thought, you know what, this could be some kind of a zone read. You could have Daniel Jones trying to take this out the back door. So you're going to see Malcolm Jenkins, he's doing his job. He's running one-on-one with the tight end across the screen. They're hoping that guys like Brandon Graham will crash down, Fletcher Cox crash down, Nigel Bradham crash down, get them going the opposite direction of the play. But the Eagles, they do not take the cheese. There's three defenders really that I want to show. Number one, Fletcher Cox does a great job against this double team. He's present in the B gap. Brandon Graham does an outstanding job on the strong side, on the play side of this play, of making sure that he not only changes the line of scrimmage, because again, here's the line of scrimmage. There's Brandon Graham already standing up his opponent, getting his eyes on the football, and he's going to be present right here. That's going to force Saquon to bounce. Now, the last person I want you to watch, because this receiver, he's going to run vertically, so Sidney Jones is taken out of this play. Your force player, your guy here, that's your last line of defense from this first down marker is Craven Leblanc, and he is one-on-one with former Eagles wide receiver Golden Tate. He caught a touchdown early. He's feeling pretty good about himself. Eagles do a great job here at the point of attack. Craven Leblanc beats Golden Tate here in the slot and makes this play. We're going to let this play run, and I want you to watch Craven Leblanc. He's got his arms locked out. He's got his eyes on the football. He beats Golden Tate. And again, this starts from Brandon Graham. This starts from Fletcher Cox. Understanding, you know what? They're going to try and show us action this way. We're not buying it. We're going to keep crashing on this football. There's your play here from LeBlanc. He's flowing to the football. We can let this play out, and LeBlanc is able to cut down Barkley in the flat one-on-one, short of the first down marker. Huge play here for this Eagles defense, and that sets up another touchdown. Eagles go on to win 34-17, and just a full team victory. Plays on both sides of the football. Special teams was outstanding as well. It's going to be a lot of fun breaking down this upcoming matchup in the playoffs this weekend. We're going to be breaking it all down. We've got the Eagle Eye in the Sky podcast with myself and Greg Cosell. You can keep an eye out for that on Tuesday morning on PhiladelphiaEagles.com or wherever podcasts can be found. Later in the week, we've got Eagles game plan, and we are going to be diving deep into this matchup. We're going to have Doug Peterson on the show to break down some of the big plays from this game, and you know we're going to be diving into this matchup that you can expect this weekend. Eagles back in the playoffs. Thanks for joining us here on the All-22 Review, driven by AAA. We will catch you here next week.